captured by Gaddafi's forces, bound, beaten, and threatened with death. Throughout the Arab uprising, journalists from CNN and around the globe have put their lives on the line to document this remarkable story. But few have suffered the nightmare faced by 4 journalists from the New York Times. Anderson Cooper sat down with those brave reporters today. He joins us now with their chilling tale. Anderson?
Yeah, it's really remarkable. I mean, these are 4 incredibly experienced war correspondents, photographers, and they were captured basically trying to get out of the city of Gaddafi as the Gaddafi forces moved in. They found themselves not only captured by Gaddafi forces, but then literally caught in the middle of crossfire between Gaddafi forces and opposition forces, basically threatened with death. They were, at one point, all had to lie in their stomachs, bound, and they were sure at that moment they were going to get killed. One of them, one of the photographers, Lindsay Adario, was repeatedly groped by the various groups of Gaddafi militia who they found themselves in the hands of. And I talked to them extensively tonight, and we're going to play that tonight on 360. But I just want to play one little bit where she talks about being in the back of a pickup truck, put in the back of a pickup truck with her hands bound behind her back, and show you what happened. Lindsay, you weren't spared any different treatment because you were a woman.
I think I was spared. I was punched in the face twice.
While you were bound?
Yeah, while I was bound. The first time was right at the beginning when they took us. They put Steve and I in one car, and they lifted me up first. 2 men picked me up and put me in the car, and this was before Steve got in. And I remember I was sitting in the car, and I'm bound, and they had bound my hands so tight they were starting to go numb. And I'm sitting there, and my hair was falling in my face, and you can't do anything. You know, it was really irritating me, and I was sitting there sort of blowing the wisps of hair out of my face, and this guy came up next to me, and my instinct was that, oh, he's going to help me, and he just punched me in the side of the face. And to me, I've never been punched in the face before. I mean, it actually was, I was really surprised. I thought, wow, that's really strange. And then I started crying because I thought, it's only going to get worse. This is, you know, we're in the first 15 minutes. You know, this could last months.
And within the first 15 minutes, I mean, they thought they were going to die in those first 15 minutes. And really, for the next 3 days, they had no idea what was going to happen to them. They were ultimately held for 4 more days in addition to that. But it was really those first 3 days that we focus on in the interview. You know,
it is harrowing. I mean, in the story they tell, they were bound, they were face down, guns pointed at their heads. What did they think saved them at the end of the day?
Well, in fact, one of them spoke Arabic. They believe their driver may have already been shot. They don't know what happened to him, but they did see a body on the side of the road by the vehicle. But one of the reporters did speak Arabic, and he heard one soldier say, "Shoot them," when they were down. And they had been arguing with the soldiers, trying to not get on the ground full on face down on their stomachs, because they felt once they were face down on the ground, they thought that was it. They would just be shot. So they agreed to go down onto their knees, but they were kind of begging and trying to use whatever they could to kind of bargain to not actually lie face down, because they felt that would surely be the end. And finally, when they were forced to be face down, one of the soldiers said, "Shoot them." And another soldier said after a few seconds, "No, you can't do that, they're American." And they think that it was simply that the idea that you know, they're American and there will be some sort of repercussion for these low-level militia members if they decide to shoot Americans.
But as you point out, their driver, they think, may very well have been shot, and he was Arabic.
Right.
You know, the only thing that saved them is this latent fear that Gaddafi's forces may have had. You shoot Americans, something bad may happen to you.
Right, without some sort of order from above. They had no doubt that these people wanted to kill them and were willing to kill them. And, I mean, not only were they punched repeatedly, you know, hit with rifle butts in the back of the head, one of them was head-butted. The female photographer who you just saw was repeatedly groped. I mean, by just about every group of men that they would be handed off to. In fact, she talked about one time this man, one of the militia members, stroking her head very kind of gently and almost tenderly, and all the while he was repeating this phrase, and he was speaking in Arabic she didn't understand, and so she turned to Anthony, one of the other reporters, and said, "What is he saying?" And he said, "What he's saying is that you're going to die tonight." And that was, you know, day 2.
I mean, there is a ruthlessness and a lawlessness about it that is absolutely shocking, almost an anarchic society with nothing sane going on at any moment.
Yeah, they really had the sense, after being, you know, held for some 7 days, that this is all just disparate groups, really without any kind of central organization.
All right, Anderson, we're looking forward to the entire interview. It's quite a story, and it'll be on Anderson AC 360 tonight.